Call the East Brunswick Township Council Agenda Action Meeting for October 28, 2019 to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a seat. Ms. Perry, may I call the roll?
Councilman McAvoy.
Here.
Councilman Spadafino.
Here.
Councilwoman Sullivan.
Here.
Councilman Wendell.
Here.
Council President Stanley.
Here.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231 Public Laws 1975, specifying the time, date, location, and to the extent known, the agenda by posting a copy on the Municipal Building Public Notice Bulletin Board located in the main lobby, providing a copy to the Home News, Tribune, and Sentinel newspapers, posting a copy on the Township's website, and by filing a copy in the office of the Township Clerk in accordance with the certification which will be entered in the minutes.
Thank you. Tonight we're starting with a proclamation for New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club Membership Week, November 10th through 16th, 2019. Councilwoman Sullivan will be reading it from the podium. Anyone in the public wishing to come? Come.
Okay, this is from the Office of the Mayor. It's a proclamation. New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club Membership Week, November 10th through the 16th, 2019. Whereas the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club of the General Federation of Women's Clubs was organized on November 6, 1894, and has continued to exist as one of the largest and oldest non-denominational service organizations of volunteer women in the state of New Jersey. And whereas members of the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs of the General Federation of Women's Clubs throughout the 125-year history have worked in their communities to assist in activities such as founding the New Jersey College for Women, now Douglas College, preserving the Palisades and supporting the establishment of community public libraries, and have provided grants and funds for Special Olympics, UNICEF, Operation Smile, Autism New Jersey, and for the year 2018 through 2020 as a special state project, CASA of New Jersey, court-appointed special advocates for children. And whereas the Women's Club of East Brunswick, a member of the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs of the General Federation of Women's Clubs, is celebrating 66 years of community service during its 2019-2020 club year to the community through support and donations for Arbor Day, Camp Daisy, the East Brunswick Public Library, scholarships at local high schools, the East Brunswick Museum, local VFW, New Jersey Army National Guard, local families in need, through programs sponsored by the East Brunswick Recreation, Ronald McDonald House, local domestic violence, and homeless shelters, veterans, and active servicemen, in addition to other local, state, and national charities. Whereas the state of New Jersey, whereas the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs of the General Federation of Women's Clubs provides programming to enable women in their communities to have excellent resource materials to accomplish goals through volunteer service. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Brad Cohen, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, do hereby proclaim the week of November 10th through the 16th, 2019 as New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club Membership Week in recognition of many hours of service to this community and others, and encourage all residents to support the Women's Club of East Brunswick. And it be further proclaimed that Civic Center Drive shall be renamed East Brunswick Women's Club for the week of November 1st through the weeks of November 1st through the 15th, 2019, given under my hand the great sale of the Township of East Brunswick, the 28th day of October in the year 2019, and in the 243rd year of our nation's independence. Brad J. Cohen.
Sharon is a member. Good evening. I'm Linda Carbley, President of the East Brunswick Women's Club, and with me is Laura, Second Vice President of Membership. It is a great honor as President of the East Brunswick Women's Club to accept the membership proclamation on behalf of our club members. Thank you, Mayor Cohen, and the members of the East Brunswick Township Council for recognizing the club. It means so much to us as members. The East Brunswick Women's Club is a member of the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club, which is celebrating 125 years this year. And it's the oldest and largest women's volunteer service organization in the world. East Brunswick Women's Club fills holiday stockings for active personnel, military personnel that are deployed overseas. Also, we raise funds to donate gift cards to the East Brunswick Township Recreation Department to be distributed to the needy families in our township for the holiday season. We donate to various food banks within our local area as collections are held at our local club meetings. We raise money for scholarships to the local high school seniors as well as many charitable organizations. In addition, we support many worthwhile projects initiated by the New Jersey Federation, including Family Promise, an interfaith hospitality network, Autism Awareness, Operation Smile, UNICEF, and currently for the year of 2018 to 20, CASA, which is a point-to-point special advocates for children for the next 2 years. And now Laura will share some special thoughts with us.
Hi, I just wanted to let you know that the East Brunswick Women's Club brings together women both of the Township of East Brunswick as well as the local surrounding area for the purpose of promoting civic, educational, and social activities leading to service and friendship. Our membership is open to women of any age from East Brunswick as well as the local surrounding area. We have a general membership meeting held the second Tuesday of each month, September through May, and we meet at the East Brunswick Fire District Civic Center building at 310 Ruse Lane. Our next meeting is coming up on Tuesday, November 12th, and we will have Jennifer Apostle be speaking at our meeting from MC Foods, Feeding Middlesex County, and she will be speaking about food insecurity. She is also being honored by the East Brunswick Chamber of Commerce and is the recent recipient of the Estelle Goldsmith Community Service Award. I also wanted to invite you and any residents to our charity brunch on Monday, November 4th, which is held at the VFW, and it benefits Elijah's Promise, as well as we have a Bye Bye Birdie Theater show and reception on Sunday, September 10th at the November 10th at the Community Arts Center. And again, we welcome all the ladies in East Brunswick and the surrounding area to join our great organization. If you're interested, you can send an email to East Brunswick Women's Club at gmail.com or call 732-254-5742. And thank you again for your time tonight and this honor that you bestowed upon the East Brunswick Women's Club. We appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. At this time, I'd like to invite the Chief of Staff for our Assemblywoman Nancy Pinkin to come up for proclamation reading for the Red Ribbon Week for October 23rd to 31st, 2019, along with our Councilman Kevin McAvoy, who will be reading one from Township as well.
And maybe, can we bring Jen and the Drug and Alcohol Alliance members up?
Sure.
So I have a proclamation from Assemblywoman Nancy Pinkin, Senator Dagnan, and Assemblyman Karabinchek. National Red Ribbon Week, which is being observed from October 23rd to 31st. Whereas drug and alcohol abuse has reached epidemic proportions in our nation, and the leaders, citizens, and business owners of the Township of East Brunswick, Middlesex County, are demonstrating their steadfast commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing and displaying red ribbons during this noteworthy campaign. And visible and unified prevention education initiatives are essential to eliminating the demand for drugs and educating all people to their dangers and the warning signs of abuse and addiction. And the strength and success of the state of New Jersey, the vitality of our communities, and the effectiveness of our American society depend in great measure upon superb initiatives such as National Red Ribbon Week, which raise awareness for important issues. So on behalf of the state legislature, I'd like to, give this to Jen and the Drug and Alcohol Alliance for the hard work they do, well, not just on this, but bringing awareness to this issue every day. Maybe we get another picture. Do you mind if we step up here for a quick picture?
Sure.
Do this in front of me. Do I stand as a member now?
And now Councilwoman McAvoy will be reading the proclamation from the mayor's office.
Office of the Mayor, Proclamation Red Ribbon Week 2019. Whereas alcohol and drug abuse in this nation has reached epidemic stages, it is imperative that visible, unified prevention education efforts by community members be launched to eliminate the demand for drugs. And whereas the National Ribbon Campaign offers citizens the opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to drug-free lifestyles. And whereas the National Ribbon Campaign will be celebrated in every community in America during Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through the 31st, 2019. And whereas government, businesses, parents, law enforcement, media, medical institutions, religious institutions, schools, senior citizens, service organizations, and youth will demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyle by wearing and displaying red ribbons during this week-long campaign and every week thereafter. Whereas the community of East Brunswick further commits its resources to ensure the success of the Red Ribbon Campaign. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Brad J. Cohen, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, do hereby proclaim October 23rd through the 31st of 2019 as Red Ribbon Week and encourage citizens to participate in drug prevention education activities, not only during the Red Ribbon Week, but all year long, making a visible statement that we are strongly committed to a drug-free East Brunswick. Therefore, be it further resolved that I proclaim October 26th, 2019 as National Take Back Day and encourage all citizens to participate by disposing of unused or expired prescription drugs in a safe and responsible way. Given under my hand and the Great Seal of the Township of East Brunswick, this, the 28th day in October in the year 2019, the Honorable Mayor, Brad J. Cohen.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much. We have Saul Heckelman, we have Adam Sang, we have Sharon Sullivan, Rob Zuckerman, Parth Patel, and Pranav, that are all here as part of the Alliance. We're very lucky that we have a lot of youth involved because we know that prevention really starts with the youth. And I just want to say thank you very much for recognizing what an important how important it is to bring drug prevention to light, and to emphasize how important it is for all of us to make sure that we're educating our community about this issue. So, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing that there's no agenda session this evening, we're going on to the public hearing portion. Can I get a motion for the following ordinance 19-28, amending Chapter 209, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 49, Schedule 10, trucks registered 4 tons gross weight or over of the Code of Township of East Brunswick?
Move to adopt.
Motion by Councilman Wendell. Can I get a second? Second by Councilman Spadafino. I will open this up to the public for discussion. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only can come up to the podium.
Explain to her. It's only
This
on
is
this ordinance.
only on this ordinance.
Okay, on the traffic?
Yeah, on the traffic.
Okay, just since you're under 18, just give me
Oh,
your...
I'm over 18.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, then I'll take your name and address.
Jasmine, Basuel.
And you live in East Brunswick?
No, I live in Manalapan.
Okay.
It's 644 Tennant Road, in Manalapan. Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering what street the trucks are going to be prohibited from.
Western Mills Road.
Western Mills Road.
Western Mills? Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, I shall close the public portion. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Can I get a motion for the following ordinance 19-30? Bond ordinance providing for various road improvements in and by the Township of East Brunswick in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $4.6 million thereof and authorizing the issuance of $4,396,500 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof. Can I get a motion?
Move to adopt.
Motion by Councilman Wendell, second by Councilwoman Sullivan. I'll open this up to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only? Hi, good evening.
Want my name too?
Yes, please.
Tyler Machnik, M-A-C-H-N-I-K. I live in Toms River.
Okay.
I just wanted to know what exactly that money is being used for.
It's for the annual road repaving project, where we select the roads in the streets that we're going to either reconstruct or mill and pave or whatever. So this is a bond to authorize us to move forward with those projects.
Thank you.
Anthony Delaquila.
Spell the last name.
Dellaqula.
Thank you.
I was wondering if that is going to affect the budget next year.
Of course, because you're spending real funds. The down payment will be appropriated this year, and when we go out for permanent financing, naturally that will go into effect to pay off that particular loan.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. While we're at it, I'd just like to welcome the students from Mr. White's class, either at Rutgers, Ocean County College, and Mercer County College, right? Did I get them all? So this is one of their homework assignments to come to
East Brunswick?
a council meeting.
Should have Mr. White come back, too.
So I just would like to welcome you here, and naturally, any questions you have, please feel free to ask.
Give our regards to Mr. White. Yeah,
Yeah,
happy to see him.
give him that. Oh. Can't say that.
If I may, Council President?
Sure.
I thought I recognized a couple of faces. I had reached out to Mr. White to have the students approach me if they wanted to, so that they would feel a little more comfortable taking the podium. I was in Mr. White's class with a number of the students who have attended, and as Mr. Crisculo said, yes, part of their assignment is to attend a town council meeting. And we welcome you and thank you for coming. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'm closing the public portion. Any discussion here on the dais? Seeing none, Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Councilman McAvoy?
No.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Moving on to our reports. Any reports tonight from our mayor?
Thank you, Council President. First, a couple of things. Recently did a YouTube on leaf pickup, which begins in the beginning of November, and it's always a source of confusion for people, where to park the leaves, when they're going to be picked up, what can and can't be put in bags. So this is an opportunity to try to clear some of that up so that we can try to get as many leaves cleaned up in the expeditious manner as possible. Clearly, though, the most effective thing that you could do with leaves, and probably the thing that would actually help your grass the most, would be to actually mow over it and reuse it on your own land, on your own property, because the nutrients in it will actually insulate the lawn over the summer, over the winter, and provides a lot of nutrients it needs in the spring. But should you not want to do that, we do have rules on how to bag leaves and how to park them in parts of the town where it's not going to be safe. That is all up on the township website, when the pickups are anticipated, what zones, and hopefully the YouTube will help make that a little clearer. I wanted to wish a happy Diwali to all those in town and outskirts who celebrate. I just wanted to remind residents or make them aware that our own township department, the DPW, the Department of Recycling, will actually be going around to homes parking little notices in each one of the recycling bins, just to give you notification. It's punitive. There's no fines associated. We want to tell people if they're actually recycling correctly or not. You get a nice little green one if you're doing it correctly. If you're not, tells you what it is that you're doing wrong. You're not allowed to put plastic in some of the bins. As most of you know, today there's no longer a market for recycling. So if you're not going to recycle correctly and do the right thing, it ends up just being brought over to the landfill, and we pay to throw it out, no different than any other garbage. So where there used to be a money given to the township to offset the cost of garbage pickup, that no longer exists here nor almost anywhere in the states. So the goal is to do recycling for its purpose, which is to clean up the environment and keep us sustainable. But these are just warning notices, just to let you know what you're doing wrong, so that you hopefully can move in the direction of recycling the right way and doing the right thing for the earth. What I did want to spend a little bit more time talking about, many of you in town read that we were recently cited by the Environmental Working Group as a town that had very high levels, cancer-causing levels of chemicals, toxic chemicals in our water. We were fortunately not the only town that got that notice. The Environmental Working Group is an activist group working and specializing in advocacy in areas such as agriculture subsidies, toxic chemicals, corporate accountability, and drinking water pollutants. For those of us who live here, you should know that we adhere, like every other town, to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection standards and the United States EPA standards, and we do safeguard our water. They are tested regularly. It's peer-reviewed by generally accepted scientific standards. We follow the Safe Drinking Water Act, and which is a rigorous scientific method by which we evaluate the health risk of any contaminant in our water, and we follow the guidelines that are provided to us by those authorities. According to the Environmental Working Group, it showed that East Brunswick had abnormally high levels of hexavalent chromium and PFOA, which is perfluorooctanoic acid. Chromium is used in dyes and woods. It's used in wood preservation. It's an anti-corrosive product. According to the Environmental Working Group, we had 0.14 parts per billion, which is 7 times more than what they consider to be the standard of below 0.02 parts per billion. According to the EPA, the standard should be anything under 100 parts per billion, so we're clearly 1,000 times lower than what the EPA standard is for that chemical. The EPA is presently reviewing chromium levels, specifically the hexavalent form, which is the most toxic. Their studies started in 2008, and it is not complete. What I also don't understand is if we measured a 0.14 parts per billion and we sell water to Spotswood, why is it that Spotswood level was 0? Or South River, which we also sell water to, was 3.2 times normal, and it came from East Brunswick, which is 7 times normal. So I think that there's some questioning of their science. PFOA, perfluorooctanoic acid, is a man-made chemical. It's found and used in carpeting, upholstery, apparel, floor wax, textiles, and sealants. According to the Environmental Working Group, we had a score of 8.02 parts per trillion, which is 8 times their standard, which is only 1 part per trillion. In 2012, the EPA actually started monitoring PFOA. By 2014, it was listed as an emergent contaminant. By 2016, it published a water advisory, which is not a standard, but it anticipated that there would be no lifetime risk, health risk, with levels below 70 parts per trillion, and we were measured at 8.02. Again, East Brunswick was measured at 8.02. It was not seen at all in the water in South River or Spotswood, which we sell water to. So I think residents should be comfortable knowing that our water is safe according to all standards that we follow. You're welcome to review all of our water studies that's provided on the township's water quality report, which you get regularly with your water bill. I do not believe, according to any of the data that we have provided to residents, that there's any cause for concern in our drinking water. If in the future the EPA or the DPA change their standards, we of course will do exactly what we're required to do and comply. But until such time, I don't think anybody needs to worry about an article such as the one that was just put out. And for those of you who are interested in validating everything that I said, it was also repeated just today on the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection website. So with that said, could someone pass me a glass of our fine, healthy East Brunswick water? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Any report from our township administrator?
I just want, the mayor showed those cards. I just want to remind residents that these cards and the, that we're putting on either the thank you for doing a great job, and the other one is paid for by a grant. And part of that grant, the requirement is for education. The grant itself, so the actual tax dollars that come to East Brunswick isn't spent out in this. It's all based upon the tonnage of the amount of things we recycle. So these cards are produced through that grant program as part of the educational component of that grant, which is required by that particular grant. The second thing is I would request that you remove from the new business agenda item D, Removal of this is for further review at this particular time. So President Stanley, if you wouldn't mind, if from the new business section, if we remove item D for further review. Thank you.
From our township attorney.
Nothing other than my thanks to all of you for their support and kind words during the past few weeks to me and my family.
Thank you, sir, and sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
From our town clerk.
Just a reminder that November 5th is Election Day. All the polls will be open from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. If you're not sure where you're supposed to vote, please give the clerk's office a call and we'll look it up for you.
And from our council members, any committee board member?
I'd just like to add a postscript to what Mayor Cohn said about the water in East Brunswick. I was taken back by the reporting of our water, and immediately a red flag went up in my head regarding the information that was being reported. So I started doing some homework, and I looked for a patch article in Edison Patch, and I looked in Woodbridge Patch, and I looked in Perth Amboy Patch, and I looked in Carteret Patch. And what I found was very interesting insofar as what comes to memory, the article about East Brunswick, the article about Perth Amboy, and the article about Woodbridge. It was the same exact article. The only thing that was changed was the name of the township in the headline. And as Mayor Cohn said, the water that we sell to South River and the water that we sell to Spotswood, there was no reporting whatsoever. So I found it alarming that the residents of East Brunswick would become alarmed with this information, and credit goes to our business administrator as well as our mayor, who got all over this, got the information spread out. I could read verbatim from what went out to all the residents of the township to quell the mistakes made in the reporting, and I found it very disturbing and rather insulting. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else?
Yeah.
So-
Just piggyback with voting, tomorrow is the last day to vote by mail, to register to vote by mail. And also, getting back to the Red Ribbon a little bit, I'm very happy to be part of the Drug Alliance Committee. We work very hard for the prevention of all drug abuse. I'm so happy that so many students take time out of their busy day or busy nights to find time to help other peers and other people concerning that. And I've been going to classes to acquire information which will hopefully help those that are in need. I thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anyone else? Seeing none. Okay, moving on to the public portion. Anyone from the public wishing to speak may come up to the podium, state your name and your address, and you have 5 minutes to speak. Anyone from the public wishing to speak tonight?
I am Marcy Kafar, 18 Springfield Road. I'm here to follow up. I was here 2 weeks ago. Mr. Stanley, you said that you were going to reach out to me. I should send my information to the clerk and to you, which I did, and I didn't hear back.
Yes, I said that we would reach out to you once we got information on that, so I
Okay.
was waiting on that.
So I'm here to talk about the cracks, the potholes, and the uneven streets that I mentioned last time. I'll try to keep it brief. I know, Mr. Criscuolo, you had said that some of these things have been addressed, and that is correct. Some of them have been addressed, and some of them have been repaired, but they're not complete. So there's still plenty to do. I've been asking for this for about 3 years now, and you know, you get emails all the time. So I don't know what else to do at this point. The streets are cracked, and they are unsafe. And I've been told I'm on the list, when I ask for where I am on the list, I get no response at all. So, I also, I know that my concerns are public, and if people don't want to be my friend because, I don't want to fall in front of their house, well, then that's okay. Saturday, on my way back from Clark Farms, there was an accident down by where you turn into the rest stop, and the traffic wasn't moving. So I got parked in the building that, I don't think anybody uses that building anymore, that town building where the rec center is, and I decided to walk back. There's a portion there that I believe is the Township's. It's a black asphalt, not a sidewalk. The tree roots it's all uneven, and the sidewalk on the Crystal Springs side from that point to Williamsburg Court is totally uneven, and it's dangerous. And it's not just me. People walk in this town. I don't know what else to say. In July, I talked about that corner on Hershey where the sidewalk is totally up. I was told it was going to be fixed. I was told it was going to be fixed. It is still not fixed. It's dangerous. There are other corners where it's cracked. The water collects because it's not even, and it's becoming slippery. And about the leaves are already in the bike lane on Dunham's Corner Road because people are putting out their leaves. And as I was walking, I could see there's leaves in the bike lane. So I don't know what else to do at this point. It's becoming, as the weather gets bad and as it gets darker, it becomes more dangerous. So I'm available whenever you want to talk about it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Federico Sayeg, Federico, and then Saigh. Address is 8 Amherst Place in Livingston. I have a question about the water thing. If the environmental working group, I think it was called, is reported that that our water was above safe levels, but you said the EPA said they were at safe levels. Why would the environmental working agency write that report if the EPA's, I guess, handling that already?
Well, I would imagine that the environmental working group is an advocacy group that believes that the standards are incorrect. And so they're going out to try to test the hypothesis that the levels should be the regulations should be much lower. And they have every right to do that. And there's a process by which they do that. And the EPA and the DEP is a process by which they study those numbers. And at some point, hopefully, if there's any validity to their science, then the EPA would have to adjust those levels. But they are not a scientific group. The EPA and the DEP follow rigorous scientific studies, and until such time as this advocacy group can prove that their data is at the same level as these evidence-based studies, I do not believe that the agencies that we are obligated to follow will change those rules. But it's science, right? And if they can prove scientifically that they're correct, then the EPA and the DEP would have to adjust those levels, and those of us who are responsible for providing water in a safe manner would have to make whatever adjustments we needed to bring those chemical levels down to levels that are below a new standard. But until such time that the science demonstrates that we need to do that, we are not going to take our cues from an advocacy group that isn't based in hard science.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, I close the public portion. Moving on to the consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that needs to be pulled? Seeing none, can I get a motion for the following items A through H?
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Wendell. Can I get a second? Second by Councilman Spadafino. Ms. Perry, please call the roll.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Moving on to ordinances that require a public hearing date November 18, 2019. Can I get a motion for the following ordinance 19-31? Amending ordinances fixing grades, classifications, and grades and compensation of employees of the Township of East Brunswick covering temporary, part-time employees and seasonal employees, ordinance 18-44. Executive staff and confidential employees, or ordinance 18-27. The Professional Managers Association, PMA ordinance 19-11, and the Municipal Employees Association, MEA ordinance 19-11.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Spadafino, second by Councilman Wendell. Any discussion? Councilman McAvoy?
If I may, to Mr. Criscuolo or the mayor, if I'm reading this correctly or incorrectly, is it a combination of fixing grades, or are we adding jobs?
Where it's a combination of both.
Okay.
That's what's going on.
Right, so is my number right? Did I see 8 new positions?
These are not necessarily new positions, they're new titles. Some people may be retiring, and we're going to change the requirements for a particular position. Some titles are being added because they were never covered before, especially in the part-time ranks. So by law, we have to amend the salary ordinance to add them in. And also on some of these, because of the new minimum wage requirements, we're required to change the ordinance to allow the range in order for the employees to be properly compensated.
So the schedule said additions are underlined and deletions are bracketed. I'm on page 1. I'm just going to a random one that I yellow highlighted. So assistant, in classification 1, assistant system operator is a new position.
That is correct. That's an IT position.
Okay. Turning to, they're all page 1s. I'm on Schedule B, executive, up top, Schedule B, executive staff classification, the Director of Water and Sewer Utilities. I thought that position was eliminated, and a stipend was given to Public Works Director to...
But the title was not eliminated from there. We're not hiring anybody to that position, but that's still the grade there. If anywhere in the future that we need to go back and utilize that title, it's available in the book.
And that same goes for Director of Public Safety, since we don't have the title?
Correct.
You just want to keep it there in case
that
you 5 years from now?
Correct.
Okay. When it comes to the 8 new, let's just go back to the 8 new positions from where I'm standing. Where's the money coming from for these pay raises?
It will have to be budgeted for. Some of them are mandated by the...
by the statute.
By law.
Right. But then salaries, for argument's sake, that's something that has to be...
That also may be covered in a collective bargaining unit.
So right now, you're just doing titles, you're not really doing dollars and cents?
Now, on some of them, you'll see that the maximums are being raised and the minimums are being made to accommodate the new state laws.
Setting the ranges, but not picking a spot for the person yet, I think is your question.
Yeah, I see that there's not a person. But I took those 8 new positions, and I maxed out the dollars, for argument's sake. What am I on? I'm on Schedule B. I'm on the bottom grade, 95, 96, 97, 98. So $60,000 minimum on 95, 112, 5 on maximum. So I took those 8 positions and I maxed them out, and it comes to a lot of money.
This is just a range. This is not an exact number that somebody's going to be hired for.
We're not moving salary from 60,000 to...
No, we're not.
5,000.
The
That's
minimum
range.
salary in grade 95 by the salary ordinance is 60,000. The maximum,
122.5.
Right.
I mean, 112.5.
it doesn't mean that the person's moving up to that.
No, I'm just, it could be a person who retires and you bring in someone who has been doing this for 15 years in Woodbridge and he's going to want max, he's going to want to get.
Or it could be somebody that's already working here, making 110, and because of collective bargaining agreements, going up 2.5%, that their salary now would be compliant with the ordinance.
Or it's someone who works for the township who is working in that arena and would take the job for $60,000.
Right,
Could be.
correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm good.
Seeing none, Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Councilman McAvoy?
No.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Moving on to ordinance 19-32, amending chapter 195, swimming pools private of the Code of the Township of East Brunswick Maintenance. Can I get a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Wendell.
Second.
Second by Councilman Sullivan. Any discussion on this?
I just, one question, is this is in-ground and above-ground pools, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Ordinance 19-33, can I get a motion for amending Chapter 228 zoning of the Township of East Brunswick parking space definition?
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Wendell. Second? Second by Councilman Spadafino. Any discussion?
Yes, please. We're changing from 9.5 by 19 to 9 by 18. This is only for public parking. This would not be for our parking garage or anything like that. I know.
This is to resolve an inconsistency between the two sections of the document. Yeah, so there's an inconsistency that our planner, Colleen McGurk,
Anything that would
identified.
be less than a 9 wide would be subject to a variance?
Correct.
Because I know a lot of these structured parking is things that we've done in redevelopment areas will oftentimes be less than that because they're assigned parking spaces
Correct.
rather than public parking spaces.
Correct. That is correct.
All right. I'm actually good with this. You know, I like what
Yeah,
we're doing.
Colleen identified it as a that they weren't
Right.
equal and wanted to fix it.
Any other questions? Seeing none, Ms. Perry, please call the roll.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Moving on to new business. Item A, can I get a motion for 16696, authorizing the township to enter into contract with Humana RX approved Medicare Part D coverage for retired employees age 65 or older who qualify for coverage by the township under contractual provisions.
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Wendell,
Second.
second by Councilman Sullivan. Any discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Can I get a motion for the following item B, 16697, authorizing a contract between the County of Middlesex and the Township of East Brunswick for public health services for the year 2020 for the amount of $203,088.50.
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Wendell, second by Councilman Spadafino. Any discussion on this? Councilman McAvoy?
I guess, Mr. Baker, maybe a couple of clarification or examples of the shared service with public health.
Yeah, Councilman, the town has been using the county and the county inspectors to do public health services in the township probably for about 35 years. That would involve inspections the health department. I also believe they do septic system site inspections. I remember being in a ditch out in my septic system with the county health department looking at the water level. It's a way that the town has been able to save considerable sums of money and over the last 30-some years, and also get the expertise of the county officials who see a lot more than just one town in their daily work.
Thank you.
Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Item C, 16698, authorizing professional engineering services from September Architects in the amount of $34,500 for architectural design services for modifications of the East Brunswick Township Department of Public Works building.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Wendell.
Second.
Second by Councilman McAvoy. Any discussion on this?
Yes, if I may. I just want to compliment the mayor and our business administrator on moving forward on this. I've been looking at that building since I came on council and was first taken through that building over there at the Public Works, and think that it's highly underutilized, and I think that anything we could do over there is a plus for the township, especially based upon the space constraints we have within this building. So I'm happy to see this moving forward. Thank you.
And Council President, Mr. Kraskulo, could you just briefly share with us the modifications that are going to happen?
Well, we don't know specifically. That's why we're hiring the architect, because naturally they're experts in that field. We don't have any architects on staff. So as the Councilman Wendell just stated, we believe that building is underutilized. We think there's a need for more space in this building. There may be a possibility of some of the organizations that are currently residing in this building may move over to that particular facility, but we like to allow the architect and the staff to kind of look at this space and evaluate what makes best sense to go over there. As the councilman said, it is underutilized. As most of you probably know, on any given night, if you come over here or even during the daytime, that parking is an issue here. And we certainly feel if we can take some of the departments from here and put them over in that particular building, it may alleviate some of the parking concerns that we have, especially if the court is in session and the library has a program going on and the senior center also has a programming on. Parking here is a premium. So between our director of DPW, our engineering department, and the architect, they've been charged to look at this and come up with the best solution for potentially alleviating some of those problems that we have. And with the underutilized facility over there, I think it's a perfect opportunity to explore these options.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Item D has been pulled from the agenda. Can I get a motion from item E, 16700, authorizing an agreement with the Borough of Spotswood for the purchase of water from East Brunswick?
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Wendell. Second by Councilman Spadafino. Any discussion? Saying none, Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Okay. Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Councilman Spadafino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Council President Stanley?
Yes. Moving on to the good of the cause. Anyone have good of the cause? Sharon? Sharon? Go ahead, Sharon.
Okay. I'm just reminding the community that we're having our 8th annual community coat drive. They're needed for men, women, and children, no leather and no suede. The drop-offs will be November 8th through the 15th. There'll be bins in the municipal building, the Department of Recreation, the YMCA on Ticey, Ansay Emmett Memorial Temple on Livingston Avenue. Basically, the hours are from 9 to 3, some of them a little longer. You don't have to worry about cleaning the coats. The coats will be cleaned by the EB Votech, and they'll be distributed to the people that are in need from December 23rd through 1/17 to the Job Corps in Edison, the Rescue Mission in Trenton, Woman Aware, the East Brunswick Education Association Bare Necessities Clothing Den, homeless men and women in New York City and other areas. And if you have any further information, or if you need further information, you could call Miss Levy. She's in charge of it at 732-995-2323. While I'm on the roll of the needy, the New Jersey Veterans Memorial Home in Menlo Park, the older veterans, they do a clothes drive and a hygiene drive and other things. And if you would like to donate for that, there'll be in the schools, there'll be bins in the schools, and there'll be bin at the municipal building. And if you need further information, you can call Tracy Ranzio at 732-390-6810, or you could call me, Sharon Sullivan, at 732-0305. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Spadafino?
I just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate a longtime friend and neighbor of mine, Alan Charlotte Simon, for having their 19th consecutive male family member to achieve the Eagle Scout status. The latest being Luke Gavin, who's a recent graduate of East Brunswick High School, and spanning 3 generations. And they're looking into the fact that this might be a record for the number of family members, all male family members, from Al Simon through his children and his grandchildren, have all achieved the status of Eagle Scout. Amazing feat.
Great, great.
Yeah, we recently, I think it was last year, didn't we award Mr. Simon with a sign for that 15th member of his family? And I looked up at the time and called Boy Scouts, and they actually don't keep records of family members, but they couldn't imagine that there was someone who had 15. Now they're up to 19. So it is a tremendous achievement for one family, and I think they deserve a lot of I'm glad you mentioned that. It really is an honor.
Thank you. I just want to mention that on October 31st at Lighthouse Christian Fellowship, there's going to be a fall harvest festival for children from the ages of 2 to 12. The timing is from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 100 Hardenberg Lane. It'll include games, inflatables, hot chocolate, and of course candy for all the kids. So all the kids are invited to come out there with their costumes and have a great time from 5 to 8 o'clock. Anyone else?
I believe the girls' varsity soccer team won the GNCs.
Yes.
They're going to be we're going to honor them at the next meeting.
And tennis.
Tennis won the state.
Tennis, yeah.
Yes.
And the boys.
Boys too.
Boys won too.
It's been a great fall
GMCs.
year.
Great fall. Great fall. Okay, anyone else? Saying none? Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion accepted. Everyone say aye?
Aye.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.